On the fallen log I see a fan of brown staring back at me, growing in concentric rings, like the sorrow that it brings. It feeds on death and decay, on words I didn't know to say. It turns the rot to something new in shades of brown and blue. Turkey tail of tears you spread so wide on the log where love has died. You show the beauty in the ride, in everything I've got. Turkey tail of tears, teach me how. The mycelium runs deep below, like the seeds of woe, connecting everything that died beneath your skies. Baby fungi know the way to turn the dark to light of day. Maybe from the things that add new life will ascend. Turkey tail of tears you spread so wide on the log where love has died. You show the beauty in the ride, in everything I've got. Turkey tail of tears, teach me how. Teach me how. Teach me how. I found a box beneath my bed, filled with everything you said, in cursive writing, blue and black, promises you can't take back. Forever yours, you wrote in June. Can't wait to see you very soon. The stamps are faded, edges worn, just like a heart that's been reborn. These sad love letters on my floor, I've read them all 1,000 times or more. Each word a photograph of them, before we couldn't find a when to make it right again. I hold the paper to my nose, hoping for a trace of rose. The scent you wore is long since gone, just like our love at early dawn. Maybe let us grow wasn't hard. They turned their faces to the light and make everything right. I water them still every day, hoping you'll come back to stay. But their heads are hanging low, just like my heart, you know. Sunflower fades when you're not here. Without your love, without your cheer, they bow their heads and close their eyes beneath the empty sky. Sunflower fades just like me. The petals yellow curl and fall like echoes of your call. I gather seeds for next year's bloom, but they just spell out doom. Maybe flowers know the truth of everlasting youth. Maybe fading is the way they have their final say. Sunflower fades when you're not here. Without your love, without your cheer, they bow their heads and close their eyes beneath the empty sky. Sunflower fades just like me. Just like me. Just like me. I've been traveling for so long now, through cities, towns, and fields, but nowhere feels like home somehow, since you're not there to heal. The comfort that I used to know, the safety of your arms, the place where I could always go away from all the harms. Home was never just a place, it was a look upon your face. It was the sound of your key in the door. It was you and nothing more. Longing for home, longing for you, longing for the life we grew, longing for the simple days before we went our separate ways. Every road I travel down leads me further from the town where we built our little nest, where my heart could truly rest. I call my mother on the phone. She says, come home, you're not alone. But her home isn't mine no more, not since you walked out the door. I got a place, I got a bed, I got a roof above my head, but none of it feels right to me without you there, without us. We home was never just a place, They rage and they roar in the quietest of breeze. They thunder and lightning behind my calm face. They tear apart my peaceful place. I smile at strangers, I laugh on cue. I do everything I'm supposed to do, but underneath the tempest grows, and nobody knows, nobody knows. The quiet storms, they gather strength. They go to any length to make me feel their power, to make me cower. Quiet storms inside my soul, quiet storms taking their toll. They rage and they roar without a sound. They knock me down, they knock me down. Quiet storms, they come and go. Quiet storms, they ebb and flow, but they never fully leave. Quiet storms, I grieve, I grieve. This morning with a calm outside, the sun was shining, the birds had cried their morning songs of joy and cheer. But the quiet storm was already here. It had been brewing all night long, growing mighty, growing strong. And by the time I opened my eyes, it had reached its full size. I went about my daily grind, trying to keep it from my mind. But every hour, every minute, the quiet storm was in it. Quiet storms inside my soul, quiet storms taking their toll. They rage and they roar without a sound. They knock me down, they knock me down. Quiet storms, they come and go. Quiet storms, they ebb and flow, but they never fully leave. Quiet storms, I grieve, I grieve. I've learned to weather them over time. I've learned to make them mine. I've learned to let them rage and roar, and then sweep them out the door. But still the quiet storms persist. They always will, they always exist. They're part of who I am now. Quiet storms, I take a breath. Quiet storm, quiet storms inside my soul. I used to think the moon was just for lovers, a silver coin to wish upon at night. But now I see it hanging there and I shudder, 'cause it reminds me how you held me tight. The same moon that watched us tangle in the sheets now watches me untangle all alone. It follows me like secrets down the street, a witness to the house that's not a home. They say the moon goes through its phases, but my grief just stays the same. It hangs there in the hazel hazes, calling out your name. I'm mourning the moon that we used to share, the way it would follow us everywhere. Now it just follows me cold and blue, mourning the moon, mourning you, mourning the moon. I drove out to the place where we first kissed. The lake was still, the moonlight on the water. I sat there in the silence and I missed the boy who told me I was all that mattered. The frogs were singing songs about the spring, but winter had already taken root. I threw a stone and watched the ripples rain, and wished that I could follow them to you. But my tears don't need the tide. They fall without the slightest motion from the ache I hold inside. I'm mourning the moon that we used to share, the way it would follow us everywhere. Now it just follows me cold and blue, mourning the moon, mourning you, mourning the moon. Maybe on some other planet, in some other galaxy, the moon still shines on us together, the way it was supposed to be. I'm mourning the moon that we used to share, the way it would follow us everywhere. Now it just follows me cold and blue, mourning the moon, mourning you, mourning the moon. My phone says you called today, but I had nothing left to say. I let it ring and ring, ring like a broken string. I listened to your message twice, it wasn't very nice. You said you wanted to come back, but I feel the lack. Voicemail regrets, I saved them all, every rise and every fall. I play them back when I'm alone on my own. Voicemail regrets, what do I do? What do I do? Your voice sounds different now somehow. Not like then, not like now. It echoes in the empty room, spelling out my fall. I play them back when I'm alone, on my own. Voicemail regrets. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's 3 a.m. and I'm still wide awake, listening to the night owl in the tree. She sings a song for loneliness' sake, and I wonder if she's crying just like me. The moon is high and the world is still, except for us who cannot find our sleep. She calls out on that distant hill, and I call out to secrets that I keep. I say that night I'll see what others miss. I say that darkness holds a certain truth, but all I've seen since our last kiss is the lonely evidence of you. Night owl cries in the midnight air, singing songs of love and despair. She asked the darkness, where did he go? And the darkness says, I don't know, I don't know. Night owl cries and I cry too, wondering if you ever knew that every night at 3:30 a night owl cries for you and me. I saw your car today in town. You didn't see me hiding in the store. You looked happy, you looked around like you'd never been here before. And I felt stupid standing there, holding vegetables I didn't need, trying to pretend I didn't care, while my heart continued to believe. The night owl doesn't judge my pain, she just keeps singing through the night. She doesn't need to explain why darkness feels so right. Night owl cries in the midnight air, singing songs of love and despair. She asked the darkness, where did he go? And the darkness says, I don't know, I don't know. Night owl cries and I cry too, wondering if you ever knew that every night at 3:30 a night owl cries for you and me. Maybe she's crying for love she lost. Maybe she's counting up the cost of carried by a northern breeze. The air is turned so sharp and cold, like a story told. You left me in December's chill, when time stood still. The snow began to fall that day and never went away. The coldest winter of my life, cutting through me like a knife. Every flake of frozen tear falling through the atmosphere. The coldest winter. When will you thaw? I wrap myself in memories, like blankets meant to freeze. But nothing warms me anymore since you walked out the door. Maybe winters have to end, maybe spring will come again. Maybe underneath the snow, new beginnings start to grow. The coldest winter of my life, cutting through me like a knife. Every flake of frozen tear falling through the atmosphere. The coldest winter. When will you thaw? When will you thaw? When will you I packed the last box yesterday. Your books, your records, the cards you sent. I told myself it's time to say that this chapter of my life is spent. But spent feels like a word for money, not for love, not for a heart, not for the girl who still calls you honey, even though you've been apart. I keep waiting for the day when never stops feeling like a door that's closed forever. I keep waiting for the time when again stops feeling like a wound that will never mend. Never again will I hear your key in the lock. Never again will you surprise me at 8 o'clock. Never again will I wake up to your face. Never again will I find my place in your arms, in your heart, in your life. Never again, the end of the knife. Never again, never again. Change the locks today for real. No more wondering if you might come back. I had to learn to finally feel that never doesn't mean I lack. It means that I'm choosing me for the first time in a long, long while. It means that I am finally free to pretending and a smile. But freedom doesn't feel like flying. It feels like falling without a net. It feels like trying and trying and trying to forget. Never again will I hear your key in the lock. Never again will you surprise me at 8 o'clock. Never again will I wake up to your face. Never again will I find my place in your arms, in your heart, in your life. Never again, the end of the night. Never again, never again. And maybe someday never won't feel so cold. Maybe someday never will just be old. But right now never is a brand new wound in a heart that's still singing the same old tune. Never again will I hear your key in the lock. Never again will you surprise me at 8 o'clock. Never again will I wake up to your face. Never again, never again, never again. Never again, never again. Never again. I called your name into the wind, hoping it would begin to carry back the sound of you, to tell me you were true. But all that answered was my voice, making the same old noise. It bounced off the mountains, off the trees, and came right back to me. Unrequited echoes in the air, everywhere, everywhere. I reach for you, but you're not there. Just my own despair. Unrequited echoes, hear me now. I scream into the empty night with all my might, but silence is the only friend that answers in the end. Maybe echoes teach us that love is where the heart is, that even when it's not returned, the lesson must be unrequited Hear me now. Summer planted something small. Didn't think it would grow at all. A tiny seed of hurt and pain, left behind in summer rain. At first I didn't even know the way it started taking hold. But roots grew deep inside my chest. Now it's putting me to rest. This seed of sadness grew inside, with nowhere left for me to hide. It bloomed into a flower gray that haunts me every single day. This sea of sadness you left behind. Her water lit with tears at night. It thrives without the sun's warm light. Its petals are the memories of everything that used to please. Maybe seeds can be replanted. Maybe love is not all haunted. Maybe I can dig it out and plant a garden of no doubt. This seed of sadness grew inside, with nowhere left for me to hide. It bloomed into a flower gray that haunts me every single day. This seed of sadness you left behind. You left behind. You left behind. You brought me lilies on our very first date. Said they reminded you of something pure. I laughed and told you they might seal our fate. The sweetness, something we could both endure. You didn't know they're poisonous to touch. That beauty sometimes hides a dangerous side. I didn't know that loving you so much would leave me nowhere left to hide. Every spring they bloom again in the garden where we planted them, reminding me of how love grows and how it eventually goes. Lily of the valley, bell-shaped and white, you bloom in the shadows, you thrive in the night. Lily of the valley, you taught me this, that the sweetest things can leave the deepest abyss. I still smell you on the breeze. I still feel you in the trees. Lily of the valley, you're everywhere, like a whispered haunting prayer. I pulled them all out after you left. Every bulb, every stem, every leaf. But somehow you care, but not of grief. The neighbor says they're volunteers, that flowers have a will to live. I say they're just my frozen tears, refusing to forgive. Every spring they bloom again in the garden where we planted them, reminding me of how love grows and how it eventually goes. Lily of the valley, bell-shaped and white, you bloom in the shadows, you thrive in the night. Lily of the valley, you taught me this, that the sweetest things can leave the deepest abyss. I still smell you on the breeze, I still feel you in the trees. Lily of the valley, you're everywhere like a whispered haunting prayer. But maybe beauty's meant to be both dangerous and safe. Maybe love's supposed to be both gentle and a grave. For who we were before we met, for who we'll never be again. Lily of the valley, I won't forget the sweetness hidden in the pain. Lily of the valley, I'll let you bloom in the garden of a river room. Not as a wound, not as a scar, but as a reminder of who we are. Poisonous and pure at once, beautiful and full of dance. Lily of the valley, I accept the memories that you have kept, memories you have kept. Lily of the valley. Lily of the valley. It's not the loud kind, the kind that screams. It's the kind that haunts your dreams. It's the quiet kind, the kind that sits in the corner and just fits into the background of your life, into the peace, into the strife. It's the kind that doesn't make a fuss. It's the kind that just is us. It follows me around all day. It never has much to say. It just sits there in my chest, a permanent, unwelcome guest. Quiet despair, you're always there. Quiet despair everywhere. In the coffee that I drink, in the thoughts that I think. Quiet despair, you're my friend. Quiet despair until the end of this long and lonely road. Quiet despair, you're my load. I go through the motions every day. I do the things I say, the things they say. I laugh when I'm supposed to laugh. I walk the path, I walk the path. But underneath the smile I wear lives this quiet, this despair, this knowledge that you're never coming back. This knowledge that my world is black. It doesn't shout, it doesn't cry. It just sits there and wonders why you left, why you're gone, why I have to carry on. Despair, always there. Quiet despair everywhere. In the coffee that I drink, in the thoughts that I think. Quiet despair, you're my friend. Quiet despair until the end of this long and lonely road. Quiet despair, you're my load. Maybe someday it will lift. Maybe someday I'll find a gift in living without this weight. Maybe someday I'll feel great, but until then, quiet despair. I'll carry you, I'll always care for the love that brought you here. Quiet despair, you're always near. Quiet despair, quiet is there. The moon is hanging low tonight, casting shadows, peeling white. I stand beneath its silver gaze, lost enough from New Year haze. It watched us once when we were young, when love was new and just begun. It watched us kiss, it watched us swear that we would always care. Now it watches me alone, a different story, a different tone. It watches as I cry and weep, while the rest of the world is asleep. Pale moonlight cry in the dark, pale moonlight leaving its mark on my heart, on my soul, on the love I can't control. Pale moonlight, witness to everything I'm going through. Pale moonlight, cold and bright, hear my pale moonlight cry tonight. I wonder if you see the same moon. I wonder if you whisper my name. I wonder if you ever stare up at the light and feel the care that I still carry in my chest, that I still put to the test every night when I'm alone with the moon as my only known. The moon doesn't answer, it never does. It just hangs there just because. It just hangs there cold and still, watching me against my will. but I'm still here beneath the light, letting down my pale moonlight cry. Pale moonlight crying tonight. You covered me like moss and stone, soft and green, I was never alone. You grew upon my rugged parts and slowly healed my broken heart. You filled the cracks, you smoothed the edge, you grew upon the narrow ledge of who I was before you came, and softly whispered my new name. But moss can die when conditions change, when everything becomes deranged, when sun too harsh or rain too strong can make what was right become so wrong. Moss among you turned to brown, the softest thing in my small town has withered, faded, died away, and left me stone and gray. Moss among, I miss your green, the softest thing I've ever seen. Now I'm just rock, just rugged stone, facing this world all alone. I trace the places where you grew, the cracks you filled, the love you knew. They're empty now, they're bare and cold, a story slowly growing old. The rain just runs off me these days, nothing soft to catch its waves, nothing gentle, nothing kind, nothing to ease my troubled mind. But moss can die when conditions change, when everything becomes deranged, when sun too harsh or rain too strong can make what was right become so wrong. Moss among, you've turned to brown, the softest thing in my small town has withered, faded, died away, and left me stone and gray. Moss among, I miss your green, the softest thing I've ever seen. Now I'm just rock, just rugged stone, facing this world all alone. But moss will grow again in time, in shadows where the sun don't shine, in damp and quiet, gentle places, on stone that's been through many faces. And maybe I will find again softness growing in the rain, a moss of love to cover me and make me whole and set me free. And more, some more, and I'm learning how to let you go, to take a bow. More, some more, you taught me this, that even in the dark abyss, there's growth, there's green, there's life anew, there's softness breaking through. More, some more, I'll wait for spring, for whatever the next season will bring. Once upon a time, not long ago, we had a love that stole the show. Everyone who saw us knew that our love was pure and true. We were the couple they'd all admire, the one with the eternal fire, the one they point to and say, that's love, that's the way. But every story has an end, even the ones that transcend, even the ones that seem so right, fade away into the night. Lost love story, that's all we are, a tale that traveled near and far. Lost love story, pages torn from the book where we were born into each other's waiting arms. Now just a memory that harms. Lost love story, I retell the way we loved, the way we felt. The chapter where we first met, I can still read it, can't forget the way you smiled, the way you spoke, the way my heart completely broke. Open for you, for us, for love, for everything we'd be made of. The middle chapters were so sweet, two hearts in perfect steady beat. But every story has an end, even the ones that transcend, even the ones that seem so right, fade away into the night. Lost love story, that's what we are, a tale that traveled near and far. Lost love story, pages torn from the book where we were born into each other's waiting arms. Now just a memory that harms. Lost love story, I retell the way we loved, the way we felt. But every story, even lost, has value, has a kind of cause that teaches us, that helps us grow, that shows us what we need to know for the next chapter, for the next page, for the love that will engage our hearts again in a different way, in a brighter, better day. Lost love story, I'll close the book, but keep it in a special nook of my heart, of my mind, the best and worst of humankind. You taught me love, you taught me loss, you taught me how to bear the cross of loving deep and letting go of all the things I'll never know, never know. Lost love story. We've said goodbye 100 times in 100 different rhymes, but this one feels so different now. I don't know how. There's something final in the air, a sense of everywhere, and nowhere left for us to go, with nothing left to show. The last goodbye, I feel it coming like distant thunder drumming I memorize your face today in every single way. So when the darkness comes for me, I'll have a memory. Maybe goodbyes teach us how to love more deeply now. Maybe endings pave the way for a brighter, better day. Last goodbye, feel it coming like distant thunder drumming. This time we won't come back again to where we've been. The last goodbye. Please hold me now. Please hold me now. Please hold me now. Yeah. I sit in cafes watching hours pass, stir my coffee long after it's cold. I trace the rings upon the glass like the stories waiting to be told. I used to fill my days with you and me. Now I'm just marking minutes on a wall, waiting for the moment I can be someone who doesn't miss you at all. But time is stubborn, time is slow. Time doesn't care how much I wanna go forward, faster, far away from all the yesterdays. Killing time, that's all I do. Trying to get from me to someone new. Killing time, waiting for the day when your memory doesn't make me stay. Stuck in place, stuck in grief, stuck in the space between relief and missing you beyond belief. I'm just killing time, killing time. I took up pain and took up running too. Took up everything that friends suggest, but nothing helps me get from missing you to being truly, finally, fully erased. I watch the seasons change outside my window, autumn leaves and winter snows. Spring arrives and flowers grow, but my heart just goes and goes. Time is stubborn, time is slow. Time doesn't care how much I wanna go forward, faster, far away from all the yesterdays. Killing time, that's all I do. Trying to get from me to someone new. Killing time, waiting for the day when your memory doesn't make me stay. Stuck in place, stuck in grief, stuck in the space between relief and missing you beyond belief. I'm just killing time, killing time. But maybe time is not the enemy. Maybe time is just the friend I need. Maybe killing time is letting it heal me, planting tiny tender seeds of who I'll be when time is done. All the work that can't be done in one desperate, lonely, broken sun. Maybe time's the only one, so I'll keep killing time, but gently now, letting it teach me, letting it show me how to be someone who isn't just killing time, but living it, breathing it, making it mine. I'll kill the old me, the one that still grieves, and let the Found a pine cone in my walk today, lying on the path in the way of where I was trying to go, like a memory moving slow. I picked it up and held it tight, felt its scales, felt its might. How something so small could hold so much, how something so rough could have such a touch. It reminded me of you somehow, how you closed yourself off even now, how your scales would tighten when I got too close, how you'd retreat from those who loved you most. Pine cone of pain, why do you hold all of your secrets, all of your gold inside your shell, inside your heart, keeping yourself so far apart? Pine cone of pain, you're beautiful still, with your spiky armor, with your will to stay protected, to stay alone. Pine cone of pain, you're like a stone. I tried to pry the scales apart, tried to get to the very heart of what you were hiding deep inside, of what you were trying to hide. But pine cones don't open up for anyone. They wait for fire, they wait for sun, they wait for nature's gentle hand to scatter seeds across the land. And I realize I can't make you open, can't make your heart feel the emotion that I feel, that I've always felt since the day our love was down. Pine cone of pain, why do you hold all of your secrets, all of your gold inside your shell, inside your heart, keeping yourself so far apart? Pine cone of pain, you're beautiful still, with your stanky armor, with your will to stay protected, to stay alone. Pine cone of pain, you're like a stone. Maybe someday you'll find the fire, maybe someday you'll find the desire to open up and let someone in, to let the new life begin. But until then, pine cone of pain, I'll leave you lying in the rain. I'll walk away and let you be. Pine cone of pain, you're not for me. Pine cone of pain.